What's up, YouTube? Back at it again with another entry. Your boy, Tubasa, is here to provide. So, today's entry is a very interesting one, and it is from the 23rd of April, again, in the year 2025, the same year that Nuketown Zombies should be happening. We still have time. Anyway, here we go. Throughout my life, I've been explicitly told that I will be successful in life. In fact, the fortune cookie fortune that I keep in my wallet says, embrace opportunities, your success will be limitless. Another example was back in high school, I used a Snapchat filter that was supposed to predict your future, and it gave me the word successful. On top of all this, I've recently gotten a letter from my university that I will be graduating with an award for highest distinction. The letter continues to say, your dedication to excellence will lead you to even greater success in your chosen career. My mind just can't wrap itself around this perceived notion that I'll be successful. I feel that most days are filled with my daily checklist that's relatively mundane. This success, if you will, does make me question something though. Is my success what makes me hard to approach or relate to? Do women think that they are not worthy of me due to my own success? Am I successful or just ambitious? Does my success really only come from me? Why do I feel like I don't work hard for my success? And what do I do with my success? So, some of those questions I wrote, but I almost instantly answered them in my head. No, my success does not make me hard to relate to or approach because I'm a pretty easygoing person when people approach me. And in a similar vein, it's not that women don't think they're not worthy of approaching me because that is pretty egotistical slash narcissistic slash full of myself bullshit. It's more so that I am nervous to approach women. It has not, well, now, it doesn't have anything to do with my worth. I think I'm a pretty good person. It's just, I get nervous. It's really, that's it. Like, if a pretty girl approached me, I would be fine, like, talking to them. I might have a hard time concentrating, figuring out what I would like to talk about because I don't know what they would want to talk about, and I'd be distracted by their beauty, but that's besides the point. Obviously, I can't be successful on my own. I have friends who help me out, professors I talk to when it comes to the academic world. When it comes to, video game land, when I play Apex, I'd say my success has come partially from my determination and hard work. But it wouldn't be entirely true because part of it did come from working as a team, since Apex is a team-based game. Now, I believe that in my life, I have been successful. I mean, I've made it all the way to college. I've gotten acceptance into a master program. So for some people, that's considered successful. To others, it might not be. And they'll be like, oh, it's just a waste of your money. But I'm not paying for it, Lamau, nor are my parents. Someone else's. Because I'm just that cool. Or fortunate, for that matter. I would say that I am ambitious, and it's inevitably what leads to my success, because my ambition is like Macbeth's, where I don't let it go away. Like, if I am locked in on something, I will continue to be locked on to it until I've completed it and seen it through. Unless I have a logical change in my perspective in which I'm like, okay, this is something I shouldn't go for. Next question, why do I feel like I don't work hard for my success? I do. It's just that I don't like to remember those times that I do when I'm working in a computer lab at like 10 p.m. at night, to which some people are like, 10 p.m., like I do it at midnight, but like I manage my time a lot, and I guess managing my time is, in a sense, working in a way. I'm just trying to do it smarter, not harder kind of deal. But this last question I feel like was the most important one that I came up with is, what do I do with my success? what do I do? Like, I can't spend it on anything. Like, this isn't something where you get like a success token and can be like, oh, you can go buy a yacht now or something. Instead, your success can do, I feel like, one of two things. Your success can build a bit of your reputation, and success could also help you seek new opportunities. Because some people might see you as a successful person and they might be inclined to give you opportunities to become more successful, whether it's in their company or with some other people that they know and work with. And so for me, I could spend my success, if you will, talking about it as if it's a currency. I could use my success to get a stable job and provide for a family if I were to ever find a girlfriend. In a similar vein, I could look at my own success that I've created in my life, and I could also apply it to any of my other goals that I have. Right? If I feel like that, oh, I have done something similar in mentality before, I could go ahead and do it. For instance, if I wanted to become an actor, all I really have to do is be ambitious enough to move over there and maybe take a couple courses on acting to land my first job. It's just a matter of dedication and taking classes, which I do regularly. I'm a student at this moment. And so it wouldn't be any different for me to take classes. It's just a different media or a different avenue that I'm being educated in. With it, there is some standards to be upheld, right? Because when you build so much success in your life, you build your reputation, which means that you have a lot of power, I guess, if you want to call it like that. And with great power comes great responsibility. But power is only given to those who are willing to lower themselves to pick it up. I stole that one from Vikings, an amazing show. By the way, if you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. It's the one live action TV series that I've watched all the way through and have loved almost every single piece of it. And that was my favorite quote coming from that show. Because if you want to have some sort of success in your life or have that power of responsibility, you have to be willing to lower your ego. Again, I had a video on that earlier. You have to be willing to be collaborative and open and work with others and not, shut their ideas down, because otherwise you're restricting your own pool of people that you can go to for different ideas that might help you find the solution to a problem that you might have. And so being able to be successful comes from collaborating with others, and it comes from being able to recognize that you shouldn't solely rely on yourself for everything. You should be able to lean on people every once in a while, because eventually one day they will want to lean on you. I have an idea for a villain, and I feel like Araki, the author or mangaka, if you will, of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, has kind of beat me to the punch with his new installment of JoJo Lands, because the Part 9 antagonist is a rich fuckboy, if you will, at least as far as I'm aware. So far from what I've seen, I'm on chapter 22 right now, so I haven't read all the way up to where it's at, but I'm pretty close. And this new villain, Akahaler, has all this money and land, but part of it just comes from this success that his forefathers, generations before him, have acquired. And so I bring the question to Akahaler: what do you do with your success? In which he uses it to spend on lavish things like limousines, private jets, women, and very expensive food. And for me, if I were to put myself an alcoholer's position, would I do the same thing? My answer would be kind of, but also kind of not. I wouldn't go out and hire women. I'd actually try and find a wife, and start an actual family. That way you can have some sort of continuation of this success, because you don't want to just end it at yourself. I feel like that's the ultimate downfall of a huge family owned, like, dynasty, if you will, is not being able to continue it. But I probably would use it to, get first class seats on a flight, or buy maybe more exotic foods that I haven't tried before. Or I would use it personally to travel a whole lot. Like, I would go and travel so much if I had the money to. And I would travel around the world. And clothing. Clothing's another thing. I would invest in my own clothing brand, or uh, I would try and make myself out to be an entrepreneur, where I will collaborate with high-end fashion brands like Giorgio Armani and Gucci, for instance, and I will give them my ideas that I have for some clothing that I think that they might like. There's a couple that I have that I don't want to explain to the world, because that's my $1 million idea, not yours, Lamau. And I would use that, at least, success that I have gained from forefathers to further gain more success, but in other industries, such as clothing. But all of this success that, in a sense, has been inherited has to start somewhere. And so I'm making sure that what I'm doing right now is building some sort of success for, my future kids. And I feel like my parents also had a similar idea in mind, that they want their kids to be successful. And so far, at least as me being living proof of it, I have succeeded in doing so, I would hope. I'd have to ask them, I guess. And I guess my only goal, well, I guess one of my goals in life is to keep that success up through my potential family. And I guess through other people too. They don't even have to be my immediate family. They could be coworkers that I believe are really intelligent and creative minds that can use their skills, and I would elevate them up to a position in which they can fully express themselves, if it were the clothing industry, for example. So that's what I would do with success. That's what I would do with success. But how would you spend your success? I'm very curious to see what you guys would do with either boatloads of money or influence, as long as it's, morally good and justified. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.